Y'all, once again, I'm the bad guy. I was talking to my homegirl, and I let her know the dude that she had been investing in wasn't a good investment. It was not going to be a return on her investment whatsoever. No matter how long they dated, et cetera, and she got mad at me. But y'all, I stand by this. A self-unaware man cannot love you. I know nobody has all the answers. I know nobody comes in 100% healed and everything else. But if that man is so convinced of his own delusion about where he's at, all he can do is bring you into that delusion, which leads to confusion. And as a woman, you can't thrive in uncertainty. You can't thrive in confusion. You can't thrive in that. You can't thrive in blurred lines. You can't thrive in vagueness about, you need definitiveness. You need a man who knows where he's going, who he is, what he's after, where you stand in his life. Like, you can't have uncertainty and also have safety. Correct me if I'm wrong. What up, Toby? So you cannot truly be loved by a man who is self-unaware. Now, that man can have love for you, but you're never going to be able to receive it. That's not going to be your experience. His love is not going to be your experience. You know what's going to be your experience if you deal with a man who is self-unaware? A lot of criticism, a lot of feeling like, nothing that you do is ever good enough. And I keep it all the way real with you. A lot of times whenever y'all be with a man giving him your best years of your life, thinking, oh, it's going to lead to this thing. Not only does it not lead to this thing, he ends up getting with the next woman and giving her everything that you wanted. The root cause was self-unawareness. This is what I was telling her. I'm like, hold on, you've been dealing with this dude how long? Years. Okay. Y'all, how old? 30s. Let's keep it real vague here. And she was like, I'm at the point where I feel like he should just know. He should just know. He should just know. But I don't want to leave with everything that I've invested in him. I said, sis, here's the problem. You feel like he should just know whether or not you're a wife, but have you assessed whether or not he even knows if he's a husband? Have you assessed if he even knows himself before you try to assess whether or not he knows you? Because what's going to happen is he's going to be able to use you as kind of an escape from the work he needs to do to know himself. He ain't really got to dig into a lot of those battles, those demons, those wounds that he got going on if you always there to distract him, make him feel good, and be the one that he blames whenever he comes up short. Let me make sure I'm very clear with you guys. I don't want to confuse nobody or lose nobody. But when you're dealing with a man, he's like, oh, it's been years, it's been this much time. One day he's up, next day he's up. A lot of times that man is convinced of his own delusion. He has his own narrative. I was watching an interview recently. Some of y'all may have seen it. It was a celebrity and a doctor. And he said something. Now, I'm not here to bash the dude. In fact, I think a lot of guys can relate to what he was saying, even though, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's not healthy. But he was talking about how he felt about marriage versus having children. Some of y'all have seen it. Now, I'm not here to dissect that, whatever, that's his business, whatever he owns. But what I noticed was, this was his story. She was trying to tell him, give an objective, professional viewpoint of what he just said. But I was thinking to myself, this is his story. And anybody you talk to has their own story. Now, some people have a story that's aligned with the truth. They've had it fact-checked. They've had it cross-referenced by a reliable source. They've had somebody else. They've had a therapist. But then you got some people, whether it's because they got money, whether it's because they're exceptionally attractive, whatever the case, they've been able to get away with lying to themselves for years. And so you come in saying, what do you want? Oh, I want a relationship. I want something real. No, you don't. You aspire to want something real, but a self-unaware man is going to miss all of the ways that he's investing in things that are temporary. You want something real, but you're highly susceptible to women that just flash something flesh, lustful, strip clubs, porn, hookups. But you want something real. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. You want to want something real. You feel like it's the right thing for you to want something real, but that ain't what you really want. What role do you want to play in the household? I want to be a provider. That's what I am. Survey says you want 50-50, and if you are paying the bills, you have resentment towards that woman, calling her a gold digger or feeling like she's a gold digger or a freeloader, and all you're doing is exactly what you said you wanted to do. Self-unaware man. I want to achieve big things. I want to go far. I want to whatever. Okay, but why are you still sticking around the same environment? that had you jammed up, taking steps backwards in life? Why you got the same friend circle and they don't want nothing? Why you keep hanging around them? You want to elevate so high in life, but you can't get away from your homeboys who don't want nothing in life. They just want to play video games and smoke and chill and drink and same old thing y'all been doing the last 10 years, not elevating in life. You know, I like a woman who's intelligent, who's strong. A self-unaware man will say something like that. Unaware, exactly. Ignorant to himself. He'll say he wants an intelligent, good, strong woman, but the moment you are intelligent, good, strong, he gets intimidated. He's mad. He calls you masculine. He says you're doing too much. He says you want to be the man. Y'all ain't never had that happen where a man said he wanted all of these qualities that you possess. And the moment that those qualities that you possess began to show themselves, he got upset. Put I down in the chat. He wants a woman that's outspoken, is going to tell him what she needs. You say, hey, baby, you know what I need? I need more time from you. Oh, all you always do is asking for something you never do is ever good enough. It's like, bro, you asked for this. You said you wanted this. You said you wanted this. You did. Like, nobody had a gun to your head. I want to be in a real relationship. I want something monogamous, et cetera, et cetera. You say, okay, you know, not just your penis needs to be monogamous. Your attention needs to be monogamous. Your sexual desire needs to be monogamous. Your affection, your flirtation needs to be monogamous. And you hold them to that standard. And it's, oh, man, I can't even like photos on Instagram. Oh, you're going to get jealous and insecure because I'm flirting with the waitress and I'm flirting with this homegirl and my eyes are sticking to every girl that walks by. It's like, bro, she's only asking for exactly what you said that you wanted. And a lot of times y'all are going back and forth with a man because he's in conflict with his own self, his own narrative. He's self-unaware. A self-unaware man cannot love you. You're just going to be frustrated. And he's going to ask things of you. Let me tell you, when you're dealing with somebody who is self-unaware, he's going to ask you to do things in the relationship, and whenever you do them, it's never going to be enough. It's never going to be good enough. Either he's going to criticize it or poke holes in it, like something just coming up short, or you're not going to get the gratitude or any type, you're not going to get nothing from that. And I'm not saying everything should be tit for tat, but if you showing up meeting this man's needs over and over and over again, that's your form of pouring into his cup. But you still ain't good enough for his full attention, for his best effort, for his priority, et cetera, something wrong. I'm ready to settle down. I'm ready right now. No, you're not. You're financially insecure. You don't know how to have a real conversation without shutting down, without getting defensive, without getting sarcastic. No, you don't. No, you don't. I want a woman that's untouchable. So why do you show so much attention to women that's for everybody? Come on, let's keep it real. A self-unaware man cannot love you. All he can do is leave you with questions. He cannot leave you with the experience of being loved and being safe and being secure. I'm ready for a woman. I'm ready for a woman to love. I just want to settle down and have something real. But then when you get into a relationship with this man, the only thing that he has energy and time for is his grind. The only thing he got time for is his grind. And I wanted him to believe a man needs to focus on his purpose, first and foremost. And there's a time and a place for a man to have just that as his centerfold. Like that's it. Nothing else. Nothing relationship right now. That's not the time. I believe there's a time and place for that. The problem is whenever he's self-unaware of that and he tries to go ahead and build a foundation for the family and relationship and things like that, that may need to wait another year or two or 3 or 4. But now he done got you all invested. He put aside purpose or whatever else long enough to get you hooked. Now that you hooked, he all of a sudden want to jump back into the grind obsessively and starve you out. Again, you got to have lived a little bit to know what I'm talking about. At first, he had all the time to court you, date you, good morning you, good night you, how was your day you, when can we see each other again? I enjoyed last night. Here's the money for this. So you need a little extra help on that? Cool. Do all of that. And it's almost like he's showing that he can do it, but again, he's operating out of aspiration, not reality. But not because he's trying to be malicious. I've noticed that a lot of men are not actually malicious in nature, but if they're ignorant to their truth, they can still have the exact same impact on a woman that a malicious man has. Now, for you, the woman, it's not for you to try to discern after the fact if he was malicious or not, because sometimes that can keep you in that situation. Your sympathy, your empathy, your understanding of it. No, if a man ain't ready, he ain't ready. I don't care if he's good, bad, or ugly. But a lot of men are self-unaware. They're ignorant to their truth right now. They may want to want a good woman, but if they're still wired for the woman that's for everybody, that ain't what they need to be investing in. A truly aware man would just say, you know what? It'll be good one day to have that woman, but until I'm prepared, I need to leave those women alone. Until I'm prepared, I don't even want to waste no time. I have not been prepared. I've been over here running through these chicks. I've been over here watching porn. I have been over here doing everything else but preparing my flesh, preparing my mind to be satisfied by one woman, sexually, romantically, etc. You see, I got respect for the man that could say that, as opposed to the man that goes in ignorant to himself because he's in denial, because he's ashamed of his true value, of the true mental and emotional state that he's in. And then sometimes you got a man who honestly suffers so deeply from abandonment wounds, he abandons everybody else first. Like I said, I was talking to my homegirl, and she's sitting there telling me, like, she's got other guys she's been with that's done the same thing, but this dude right here, he seems like he's 1 foot in, 1 foot out. The moment that they have a bad time with him, it's like he's ready to leave. And I said, that brother is suffering from abandonment wounds. And see, the abandonment wound doesn't necessarily make him horrible, but it's going to be a horrible experience because he's so expectant of you leaving. He's inherently feeling and identifying with the feeling of being so disposable. That's like almost like waiting for the hammer to drop. He's just waiting for the time. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when you're going to want to leave him. So that man is always going to, first time of friction, he's always going to be ready to jump. He's always going to be ready to jump ship. And I'm letting her know, like, he says this, he says that. See, you have to fact check. Let me keep it real with y'all, man. You have to fact check. When a man is telling you whatever it is, please don't go strictly by if you can relate. Please don't go by if you can emotionally connect with what he's showing you in his emotion. Please go by fact check. And you know what the fact check is? A man's pattern. The man's pattern is his fact check. That's the verification process. That's the liar detector test. And again, don't think because he's an honest man typically that he has emotional intelligence enough to see himself clearly. He don't believe in therapy. He don't tell everybody his business. I'm not saying that makes him a bad person, but when you hear a person say that they don't believe in therapy, they don't have a mentor, they have no accountability partner, they don't tell anybody anything that's going on with them internally, what you have is a person who's never gotten the outside, objective perspective of the things they believe about themselves. You've got a man who may be good intentioned, but your heart is not going to be safeguarded with intention. You ever had your heart broken by somebody that told you, I never meant to hurt you? Put I down in the chat if you ever been hurt by a man that told you, I never meant to hurt you. I never meant for things to work out this way. I never meant for you to find out like this. Put I down in the chat. Because I want you to put intention in a proper place. A self-unaware man has all the good intentions in the world, but no good fruit to his actions, no good output, or at best, inconsistently good output. Because his understanding, he can't have the right prescription if he has the wrong diagnosis. If he thinks the problem is that you ain't showing up how you need to in a relationship the whole time, he got childhood trauma unhealed or whatever the case may be that he's brought into the relationship, guess what? Whatever he tells you to do, you're just going to be spinning your wheels. You're just going to be on a hamster wheel, constantly trying to please and do for him. And that's where you get into a situation where you're pouring in his cup and he ain't got nothing to pour in yours. He ain't got nothing to pour into yours. Because what you have to pour in his cup was never going to fill his anyway. He needs something much deeper, much bigger than whatever you can provide. That's for a professional or his parents. When a man is self-unaware, again, he may intend to love you. He may like you and call it love. He may want you around, want your company, but still not have the capacity to truly love. but he'll never be able to love you in a way that you can receive it if you are a feminine woman, if you're a grown woman, if you thrive in safety, security, and clarity. He'll never be able to make you feel loved. And what'll happen is you'll use the best years of your life building him up for the next woman. But again, let me break it down. What happens a lot of times in those situations is you dealt with a man who had the good intentions. Outside of a relationship, he was all right. So that's why you stayed so long. Y'all broke up, and it left him nowhere to hide. And then when he had nowhere to hide, he had to look in the mirror. Maybe he went and got therapy. Maybe now the dust is settling. He can see things clearly. Now he comes into self-awareness. Now he comes into acceptance. Now the blind is removed. Whatever he was using you to distract him from in terms of his ugly truth, they're removed. And now his intentions and his actions come into alignment for the woman that said, you needed to have that done first before you come over here to me. I hate to say it like that, but I want y'all to detach yourself from the process that man needs, because you might need to leave him alone so he can come into awareness. But when you see too much misalignment, when things are just too confusing, when you come into the videos, the books, the programs, the preacher man, the friend circle, and everybody else is making sense, but this dude right here making sense, that means you ain't crazy. You ain't crazy. You understand 2 + 2 = 4. But this math ain't math. You ain't crazy. And so when there's so much misalignment, now you got to be the one to assert, oh man, this dude right here, he's convinced of his own narrative. He's self-delusions. Like he's not aware of himself. He doesn't have a clear picture of himself. Maybe there's shame there, or maybe he was told wrong, or maybe whatever the case may be. And if he ain't willing to go and get a third party outside of you, a third party perspective, a professional opinion, one that you respect as well as him, there ain't no hope there. And honestly, I don't like even encouraging y'all to do that, because that's a lot of men never come into this awareness until there's a great deal of pain. After a certain point in our lives as men, we don't just evolve by choice. Most times, unless it's like by long, consistent choosing of this new level we want to go to. 20 years, 10 years, something like that. But we don't just flip the switch out of our conscious mind. That has to happen because our ego got broken. We got hurt. Now, by that pain, that man can absolutely evolve to the next level. I just think we too old for that, man. If you over the age of 25, man, look, we too grown. And so now, if you're over the age of 25 and you ain't got time to waste and you're ready for something real and right now, and you've done the work on yourself, you now have to take that same quote-unquote process and make it a prerequisite. There ain't no more process of once he meets you, then he starts doing the work on him. That's over with. Remove process, ladies, sisters, and replace it with prerequisite. You got to come already have done that work. You got to come with that work already. You can't come in here trying to start that process. Again, I used this analogy before. If you're at PhD level, you don't say come in here and then start kindergarten. You don't say come in here and start your high school education. And the only men that's going to already have that work done are alpha males. I'm so high up on alpha male, and these are the men that have likely made the mistakes, paid the price, lost something, hurt deeply. A lot of times they hurt somebody else. And then in hurting somebody else, they ended up messing up their own blessings. Alpha males are ones that not unscathed, they've done it wrong. And then you can see the work that they've done on themselves. They can speak to it, they can point to it, and they can back it up with patterns. That this is where I'm at now. This ain't that, and that ain't this. You want to come after that man that's already crossed over that. You don't want to be the part of, oh, here's how you become this. No, don't do that. We do not evolve, or we don't change from our worst selves because of love. We go to a higher level once we become our best selves within our own power because of love. But any change of direction is really going to happen because of pain. I just want to give y'all, so you can know how to address this, how to assess this. And when it comes to alpha males are not attracted to the same thing everybody else is. all of the dudes, like whatever attention you get, you may be a conventionally beautiful woman, you may know how to connect with a man, et cetera, et cetera. I'm telling you right now, alpha males have a completely different set of measurements for a woman that's going to integrate with their life and where they're going. Because they're not choosing because of pleasure, they're not choosing because of pain, they're choosing now because of purpose. And I broke that down to simplify it and get real specific. So you could position yourself for an alpha male in my masterclass, Secrets to Attracting Alpha Males Only. And that's free, by the way. That's not a product that you buy. If you want access to that free masterclass, the link is right here down in the comments. Register now. So, because it's going to start soon. As soon as I get off here, I'm going to do the encore. Register now and come back here. You'll get a link to your email with the access and all that kind of stuff. But again, it's free. And I break down how to recognize alpha males, but also how to make sure you're properly positioned for that alpha male. But back to what I was saying. A self-unaware man is confused. He's unclear. He is all over the place. He's misaligned. He's inconsistent. A self-unaware man, again, because he's confused, cannot commit to you. And if he can't commit to you, he can't love you, sis. Because your heart doesn't turn on and off. You're a good woman, right? You manage access to yourself. You've either preserved or restored your ability to pair bond at the absolute deepest level a woman is capable of. That's not made to turn on and off, on and off, on and off with inconsistent men. That's not made for that. That's why once you check out, you're done. You're repulsed. You're disgusted by a man. It's not made to turn off. Turn on, turn off, turn on. But a self-unaware man is inconsistent like that. He's confused. And again, confused men can't commit. But those are just my thoughts. I'm your internet big brother looking out for you per usual. If you got something from this, though, if anything that I said resonated, keep your money. But I do ask that you pay it forward by hitting the share button. That helps the message reach more people. That helps more lives get impacted. And somebody's life is going to be changed because you decided to put this on their timeline. And if you want more content like this for free, where I go a little bit deeper, because I really went deep on this masterclass, Secrets to Attracting Alpha Males Only, I highly recommend you watch this free masterclass now. It's right here. Tanya says, bro, I'm still crying.